One day Rav Shach called his Einikel and his grandson in, and he said to him, I need you to drive me to Petach Tikva, I think it was, one of the towns not far away from Bnei Brak. It was a freezing cold wintry day. It was pouring, and Rav Shach says to his grandson, get me a ride to the Beis Olam, to the cemetery. They come to the cemetery. There's a small funeral taking place of somebody who didn't seem like many people knew. It was an old woman. And Rav Shach was there and he participated. He was an old man. Rav Shach was B'Sayf Yom, at the end of his life. He participated in the freezing rain. He stayed the whole Levaya, and he even stayed afterwards to daven and say Tehillim. On the way back, his grandson said, who was this? The Gadol Hadar, the Rosh Hashiva of Panavish, the head of Me'atzis Gedolei HaTorah, the head of Degel HaTorah in Eretz Yisrael, goes to a simple person's funeral. There was no Rabbanim there, just simple people, Pshutei Am. Not only does he stay there in the rain, but he stays afterwards. Who was this person? Rav Shach shared the most remarkable thing. Rav Shach shared that when he was a bacher in yeshiva, he was 13 or 14 years old, and he was just starting to learn. He was poverty-stricken. He had nowhere to really stay, and he was sleeping in the Beis Medrash at night. And it was freezing cold, and he just couldn't anymore. And he made up that if his situation doesn't improve, he's leaving yeshiva. There was a woman in that community who her husband sold blankets. And it was an accident that he was nifter, and she had a bunch of blankets. And she came into the yeshiva the next morning and she says, listen, I'm not continuing my husband's job. I have a lot of blankets. Whoever needs a blanket, have one. And that night, says Reb Shach, I slept warm. And because I slept warm and well, I stayed in yeshiva. And this woman is the woman that passed away. She had arichas yamim v'shanim. And I went to that levaya, and I stayed there the whole time. And I even stayed afterwards. Because this woman was the difference between me staying in yeshiva. And Baruch Hashem, Rav Shach became the Gadol Hadar. But he never forgot the chayv v'akaras hatayv 60, 70 years later. Because that's who a Yid is. That's what Yehudim are. That's a person who has arichas ruach. That's a person who has avodah kasha in terms of working on himself. That's true hakaras hatayv.